Alright, but for Lee Sin, let's see what he can do, because base AD is not a joke. Years and years ago, they nerfed the base AD from Graves, and everyone said, that nerf will do nothing. 4% pick rate. No. 4% win rate went down. His pick rate also went down by 4% because he was weak. Lee Sin here, they're adding that base AD every auto, every spell. It's a champion that had a lower win rate. He was struggling after the Eclipse nerfs. Nobody denies this. But he didn't really need to be buffed because now he's absolutely outrageous. We have here X-Pro Max Lore, X-Challenger Jungler. We got ourselves a Silas mid lane. Everybody's playing that pretty kitty skin. And we have the Jin Rakan bot lane, as well as the gang playing Varus top lane. How legendary. We're obviously against the Viego here because why wouldn't you be? What are we going to do? Let's see. I mean, itemization-wise, you still got the standard stuff. You still got the Eclipse, the Sundered Sky, the Sterak's, the BC, the Moors, the Death's Dance, the GAs. Standard stuff. Nothing has changed in that regard. But what has changed is the meta in terms of people being able to die a little bit slower and the damage going down across the board. Which means Lee Sin always thrives because of the lifesteal, the resets, and the mobility. We're going to go red Krugs into the crashing wave up here because it's a Varus. We can easily burn, most likely flash and barrier. There's a flash burn. We got the slow, we missed the Q. Doesn't really matter. We'll take that W. We don't get the barrier. That's fine. In the meanwhile, we know that the Viego's gone down because of the wards. So this is where things get really interesting as a jungler. Well, apparently Varus did not expect the Lee Sin mechanics. Remember, Lee Sin has a slow there. He's got lifesteal, he's got the shield, he's got the safeguard. Missing HP, execute on the Q2 there, which hilariously a pro player many years ago didn't even know was a thing. Which is why pro players and the mechanics are interesting. They know what their champions do, how they feel. They don't really know the numbers though. Coaches, players, we all exist in an ecosystem. In the meantime, yes, the Lee Sin shows top lane there, so the Viego says, hey, you know what? I'll take your bottom side. And this is the downside of ganking early in this meta, right? You're gonna lose this experience, but mid lane also has prior, so this is really doomed for him. He can kind of understand that this is going on. Here I'd be a little bit cautious, I'm not gonna lie. I might even try hit the Q through this one. Maybe I'm being too conservative, but yeah, drag the camp out ideally, right? Assume that they're doing this and they're gonna float around the top side. Don't think they'll underneath you. Just drag it out and accept that it's gone, right? You know it's all gone. Here he is. But how did he know? You gotta head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else. All of this available through a premium jungle Discord, which is highly active, a huge community that help each other climb using my jungle program and courses. As we have seen by everybody hitting their peak rank goals in Split 1 and Split 2 of Season 14 as fast as possible. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle div every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. Pretty obvious. So now, of course, we're going to go to the top side. And here's what things get very interesting for us. Because you start in Raptors, that spawn's going to be at 4 minutes, right? 3:55, 4 minutes, 3:59, whatever your champion does. Now, of course, we have prior on this top scuttle. Most importantly, if we know Viego started blue Gromp Wolves, Gromp's going to spawn at 4:20. So we can sit around and wait. Viego will not be able to help himself and will try and gank bottom lane. We see this E. This is why you have to F key. F key, look, see the E, no, okay, cool. Also look mid lane. Is there someone low I can dive? Oh, hello. Ward, hop, Q, dead. Now we have Grump up, we're gonna have Wolves up. Obviously here you gotta track the fact that the Viego sagged off, and now we don't know. Did Viego go to his Krugs, assuming I took camps? Or did Viego track you and basically think, let me give up the Krugs and actually collapse? So the Lee Sin just respects the possibility for the Viego potentially coming up to the top side. That's what you kind of should do. A little bit of respect goes a long way for jungle tracking. Obviously, the mind games, right? He knows he's going to do that, so he just says, fine, I'll just do my Krugs. Now, obviously, he will reset go top side and be thusly excited that all his camps are available, but Lee Sin did the perfect thing here. Accepted it was gone, cut up here, get some deep vision. In theory, he could have waited for this 100%, saw the low HP Ari through F key, killed, fell back here, now goes to this quadrant. Respawn Raptors, respawn Krugs, extra experience, juicy! And now we can look to punish the Varus, whose wave is somehow in this position. Such is life. Now, obviously, all of his sums are down. We're going to crash this off here. We know Viego, in theory, should come to the top side, but the Viego, honestly, I think is a big mistake here. Like, really bad tracking. I don't think he looked at the CS of the Lee Sin. There you go. Silas flashes over the wall. That was actually very cleanly done by both the Silas 6R and the Lee Sin follow-up. Now, Ari's stuck here level 5. She should, in theory, be close to 6. She is close to 6, but she isn't quite yet, so we want to make sure we go for this. The charm does hit here. Lee Sin's going to space out. He does create the gap necessary. We'll go ahead and get the assist there from the Silas. And, you know, I think the Viego's made a mistake here. Not made a mistake necessarily, but made a mistake. He assumed because the Lee Sin showed up here on the Warthog Q that he took his topside camps. He didn't press tab and track the CS. Because 12 CS getting top lane, right, does the Wolves, that'll give you 16, does the Crab, that'll give you 20, shows up here with 20. He didn't take your camps, man. So you know they're all up. So in theory, the Viego with a good reset, a better reset, well, in theory, better reset, but he went for the Sheen. You know, you could be topside here. You could be topside counter ganking this entire play. And I feel like that is really what was missed here from the Viego. We'll just go back. I don't like to usually go back too much in this. I'll speed up, don't worry. Because look at this now. In theory, you should say, let me go up here to take these camps, right? He just assumes Lee Sin's on them. I like to kind of figure out, and as soon as I see this here, 28, what does it mean for your extrapolation? Where has he been? He showed up 20, he loops back here 28, must have done Raptors Krugs. Like, that has to enter your mind, and that's why professional jungler, non-professional jungler, average MMR GM, challenger master, like you see the gap here. He could easily shadow this and say, look, maybe we can do something 3v2, right? Because GP's dead, no TP, so we will have numbers advantage. And in theory, the Rel should also rotate up because it's Grub City in about 30 seconds. Obviously, she's a bit compromised here, but, you know, like this for me looks as a Rel and a Viego going for the Dragon. This looks like something we could actually deal with here. Look at this. I mean, they have the vision here, so maybe they don't go for this. Now, obviously, the Rakan rotates, and that's the big differential there. The Rakan actually rotates, and we see that on our vision toggle, right? Here we go. Here's Rakan goes back to base. We can assume here potentially Rakan might cut up, but like he cuts up late too, because he assumes, I think, that the Rel's going to show up. So that's where we've got the different mind games going on here. And of course, could they be here impacting this? Yes. Would this be enough time frame for them to kill everybody here? Maybe. You know, maybe. Like, this is just, I'm not really necessarily saying that 100% should go for it, because this is fine. But I don't results based and be like, oh, look, you know, they could have gotten kills. I think in the moment, it's justified to know that the Lee Sin, those camps are still available. I don't know it's control warded, but you can obviously go for the look. I'll give it up, and I'll go down and do the Dragon and then counter jungle the side and snowball bot lane. Like, you can do that, right? So the Viego's decision, while not incorrect, jungling usually has two sides. I do think I like to protect and defend in these situations and just ensure that, hey, I've got a little bit of a lead here. Let me actually use it while I can. And Lee Sin's so broken right now with the base AD buffs that really his snowball is absolutely nutty. Now, Varus top lane, not so good. We obviously have here the, I'll put all vision toggles just so you can see where the Viego is. This is all okay, but now we're stuck in a vertical map. And that's, you know, this is where I kind of get uncomfortable and why I think junglers who played pre-season 10, pre-season 11, like before, are better players. Because basically what we had to do was every year go through like a severely weird and different meta. The jungle now adapts, yes, a little bit, but it's usually quite samey. The big problem is, but what are you doing, sir? In the meantime, the Viego's like, well, I'm gonna die, and the Lee Sin's like, well, thanks for your camps, man. Yeah, so season 8, you know, we had like a level 2 meta. Season 9 as well, Scarlet Crab was the savior of mankind. And so you'd have a lot of vertical jungling where we just split the map in half. And we learned very quickly how to correct that, how to play around it if you couldn't, how to adapt, yada yada. And nowadays, when there's vertical, people don't fully understand how to maximize that, nor how to counter it. Excellent dive again, well played from the Lee Sin, F King paying attention, not worrying about camps too much. Look, he shows up here. He's gonna left click it and be like, huh, level 4. And he should left click it. See the experience, level 4. Left click this one, not level 4. So Lee Sin never took my camps. And then you feel silly. And now the Lee Sin, if he's number tracking, will recognize, look, guys got 46. So guys get 56. He probably took all of this quadrant here, so you know, nothing's available down there. I'll just go topside. And all is deep warded. We see this, all of it. And now we know that the dive is coming. So what we can do is finish our red and shadow. Perfect timing again. Q over the wall. Hello, sir. I was going to say, what's the timer on a kick? But I know we just used it. I just wanted to see what it was. Don't have the kick here. There is the Q gap close in the back line. Obviously now we want to respace. Be a little bit careful. We have the Silas rotating up here. Q's up again. See if we can hit the ground slam plus slow. Maybe. There's the Rel ult. There's the Ari charm. Viego could flank up, so Rakan rotating is very good. There's a safety up into the Q. Obviously, there's a Guard Sign misses because she does another R charge, but we'll take that one to Alta's burn. Yeah, it's really crazy that the base AD does so much for clear speed. Like, I think you're seeing Lee Sin's clear a lot faster than they used to. And now because we burnt the old charge, there's a Q. We do get stunned here. Can we get out? It looks like we will fall, but it's okay. 5-1-3, that's our first death. In the meantime, Virkayu is 0-1-1. And again, doesn't know how to react. Yeah, he's kind of jungling a little bit, but he's not really snowballing the bot lane. The Jhin is playing very, very well, being safe. And the Rakan is rotating, so the Jin's like, I will just exist. I will be down 30 CS. I don't care as long as I don't die. Cool. Now, I know we all wish we had this kind of an ADC. We don't. What can you do? So now Lee Sin will control his bottom side here to offset some of that vertical jungling. BA goes over here. You know, both level 6 at 10 minutes, not ideal. But as I said, if the Virkayu cut him off perfectly, reset the pseudo-vertical jungling that was going on, then all of a sudden he gets that slingshot experience plus pressure on the bottom side again from Lee Sin, and he can take away Lee Sin's options. The Lee Sin made the perfect decisions everywhere based upon what was going on, and the Virkayu didn't, and that's the difference here. So even though CS is way down, not quite season 9 levels, but it is way down, that's okay. Because for Lee Sin, we win at the fisting. He's just better right now. And Vieggo's strong. Vieggo's the best jungler in the game. Like overall, for every MMR, low, high, mid, whatever. Lee Sin's better high, but is performing quite well, Emerald Diamond, for what he normally does in terms of pilot issue. And, you know, this is a great bot lane play. And Virkayu should be looking more... Oh, she R'd to the side. Yeah. So now we're looking at, let's just have a look at the numbers here. 212 currently with this build, and these boots don't add damage. Imagine AD boots. Make them expensive. What do you think? Too wild? Too obscene? Kind of like it. You're kind of dumb, but it would definitely force a lot of people into some difficult decisions. More damage or actually supportive tenacity and tank. And then we have the gank of the bottom lane while Vieggo's topside doing grubs. Lee Sin goes back in here. It's a Xayah. She's got 2 levels on him. It doesn't matter. RET gets charmed by the Rakan. This is root and the W, and we'll just basically auto fist. So, back to where we were. 205 on the Q here, 1. Recast 205 to 410, scaling with missing HP, obviously. A W here is a shield that scales with AP, but the lifesteal, by the way, 14%. And then here we're at 191 magic damage. And this is where a lot of people don't understand this about Lee Sin, right? Because the recast gives you that slow that we want. Initially, it's just the damage. It does magic damage. It scales with the AD, but it does magic damage. And a lot of people who watch these vids and other vids think, but you know, like they're building AD, therefore it's physical damage. Not necessarily, right? It depends on the champion. And a lot of champions have these mechanics that allow them to straight up have a bit more penetration in all AD comps and a bit more versatility when someone builds armor. It just allows them a bit more of a dynamic game. So this is magic damage on the E here. It's not that much damage. It's not his primary damage, but it scales with the AD he builds. So you obviously have to factor that in. That's why things like Jack's Show and Stoneplate are so great historically. Bring back Stoneplate, because it helps me deal with brands and lilies. I mean, honestly, Lee Sin's would even build it last, and everybody would really. Now, Virkayu shows low. We're having a fat discussion about Virkayu. He goes and does this here in case we missed it. We did miss it. We were busy. There you go. Chunk, ult over the wall, flash over the wall, whatever. And now we're going to go back into our jungle. This is the worst thing ever. The worst thing ever here when you actually telegraph everything and then you fall back to your quadrant, you get invaded. You know, like, it's good to think about quadrants. Like, hey, what can I do before I farm? What can I do after I farm? How can I impact the map and farm? That's great, but you don't want to telegraph your life story and put yourself in a bit of a bind. Which he did. And he died. Hello, Varus. You have some of the spells. We have kick available here, so we can go for the EE. And there's Rel showing up here. Obviously, remember the kick. Oh, we do die. Varus Champion Spotlight. Yeah, I don't know why they rebuffed him when they nerfed him. Maybe a little bit ambitious, but honestly, good run by the Rel. So at this stage, you can say, okay, maybe I should be tracking the bottom lane. My Silas is there. Maybe the Rel's MIA should pay attention to that. All of these things are true. But we'll allow it, because we're fed. Although if you, that fed, honestly, did you guys just notice something? I just noticed something. And I like that I just noticed it. Because, obviously, Virkayu gets one back here in the Jhin. You know, the gangplank is 054. I mean, I feel like we've done a good job. There it is. We'll take the Winnie wave. But he's 054. So When you're a really good jungler and you're fed and you're having good pathing and you've got someone else that's fed around you, in this case the Silas, you might not realize the state of your team. And it's good to press tab, look at the map, see what's going on. What is the state of my team? Because this is where you end up pushing them out too much. You end up trying to elevate the game state, take turrets, force fights, and your team just aren't ready for that yet. They're actually a little bit behind. And the Varus obviously is using his power to suppress the gangplank. Virkayu now rotates. We do have the Ari ult from the Silas here. Lee Sin's just chilling and waiting to go in that queue there, waiting for as much HP as possible, making sure the timing is correct here. There's the kick. Varus tries to go for the kill, which of course he does. Then he flashes. Lee Sin is right there. We have the crown with his double knock. Beautifully done. And we'll have another Q toss to get that guy tossed. And now the ult into the Xayah. She has everything. Yeah, she has everything. That's something you don't necessarily want to force. Gangplank in the meantime says, yes, I will split on the bottom side. Herald is a good take. I like this. This is good advice for everybody. If your jungler is here, you have numbers advantage, but he's taking a camp, a scuttle, a gromp, right? Start up the objective. Start up the dragon. Start up the herald. Start up the grub. Start up the baron. We will be there, right? We are coming. We are definitely rotating. You don't need us initially. Pull it out, begin us, let us steal a camp, and then we'll collapse and start to snack up the objective. Timing, obviously important. Golden pocket, 1700. We do have the, this thing. You all know what it looks like. We'll put that into Sundered Sky. Xayah obviously has everything still. If we can hit a Q, there's a Varus no sums now. Ult not up either. We'll activate the Herald. Hit this plant, sir. He didn't do it. I wanted to see. He should have hit the plant. Silas will now split because we don't really need to be there. That will guarantee the turrets fall in destruction. Charm of the wall. A little bit of a lack of respect there. He goes back down here with the 3 grubs. Would expect to see a bit of a collapse here from the blue team. Should have been expected by the Relgen. I think understood that because look, 1-3-1. How do you beat a 1-3-1 with a 5-man engage on the 3 in the mid lane and you try to eviscerate them and shove it down their throat and figure out how to actually come back in this game? But turns out they didn't do that. Now Ari's forced to TP here. Lee Sin does have that life steal, remember. Don't quite have Sundered Sky yet though. We do have shield up on the... Xayah has everything up though. Yeah, he knows. Xayah has everything up. Q is up again. Just keeping our spacing. Gangplank actually does some good. Uh-oh. Jin, help me, Jin! Jin, help! Oh, well, we don't have Warthog actually. Q misses. Uh-oh. Jin's like, well, maybe I can ult slow. He can. Gangplank shows up here. That's what we're waiting for. The ult there, the barrier. Will we go in? Will we go in? Do we take the Q? No. I was kind of hoping for a highlight moment. Maybe we... No. We do have Sundered Sky. Obviously, I'm just focusing on the lead here. We have the Rakan going deep. There's a Silas showing up. Hey! We went in. I mean, he is squishy. He does die quickly. I think even there, I'm getting a bit impatient myself. Just be patient. On your champion, on Zyra, it's hilarious. Here I'm just relaxed. Like, I'm playing exactly like he played. But on Lee Sin, even just watching it, I'm like... The champion, man. It does things to your brain. Right, much like Bel'Veth, which destroys your brain cells. I've actually seen really good junglers go and do 100 games of Bel'Veth. And then they go back to regular jungler and they just feed. They just don't get away with the same cheat code. Some champions promote such bad habits, you shouldn't play it if you want to be good. Such is the way it is. There's a kick. I was kind of hoping for a triple kick, but we'll get the Q in the back line there. The Varus, of course, has no sum still. Now we zone back here. The Viego goes in for the displacement plus slow plus missing HP. Isn't able to do anything. He went too deep, too far. And now we can chase down the... we do have flash here. We can just... There you go. See, that's kind of also what you want to do sometimes. You see, listen to the Warthog flash. You know, we want to get the slow and then you can hit the Q. Whoa! Healing down 509. Everybody healing there from the Sundered Sky plus Conqueror plus his own lifesteal here. Saved him. That was close. Well, it's not close anymore. This champion. Base AD, snowball. You don't need a farm. Look to be active. Make the right reads. Forget about worrying about ganks and farm and just play the game. If you just jungle within the flow and you have 5.5 CS per minute, but you win because you have 25 kills and all the objectives, you did the right thing. You know, you're not a jungler that needs to worry about having 7.5. You can, and you should have more than 5.5, obviously, in the default games, but should the game dictate more of a fisting style, you embrace it. There's just a Q auto E there. Alright, Silas in the bottom lane. Looks like they're really snowballed that this is out of control. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 20 minutes up. It's a Baron. Let's go. Let's go. Team. Come. Team. Team. Gangplank. Team. Yeah, I know a lot of you who are in like gold and bronze and diamond now, like, yeah. They don't listen, Virkayu. They don't come for these free Barons. I know. I know. They don't even do it to Mercer. Is what it is. Alright, back to base here. We obviously went for the Maw in this particular case. Why? Because the RA is a big problem. The burst procs is a big problem. And in this particular case, the Varus has gone AP, so I'm okay with it. I do think you could have just done Sterex. I don't really feel like there's a need necessarily for the Hex Drinker. I mean, incorrect. The Hex Drinker is really the thing that saved us earlier. That is the big spike there, and it just happens to go into Maw. There's no intermediary Hex Drinker for Sterex, and that's a big thing, so yeah, I get it. I get it. Because of course you can just go GA, right? Like after the Maw here, you just go GA. Screw the health, you just go full damage, full attack mode, you get the armor there, which you can see is building into right now, right? So like you can see the Steel Sigil will go into the GA, and that's how we'll end the game, right? But if you can just afford a BF sword, you could do that here. You'd like a bit of armor against things, but if you're killing the Zion one hit, who cares, right? Side of splitting, most utility safe Jhin of all time, but honestly that's great. Really, really great. Wish I had this ADC in my games, just playing safe, not dying, and, you know, ulting utility and just basically being useful. While the Silas and the Lee Sin kill everybody. The Gangplank, a little bit ashamed, but at least he split push and ulted a few times. And the Rakan, nice roams, you know? But the Viego made the wrong reads. He greeded, he focused too much on farm and not the map. And that's why I said older style junglers are better off because they do understand verticals, PvP pressures and PvE pressures and how to basically correct it. And the Viego just really didn't know what to do, right? He wasn't tracking properly, he didn't cut him properly, and he couldn't handle the stats. The raw stats of the outrageously powerful Lee Sin jungle buff. And now, of course, we've been patient. Take the inhib. What? Nah. Well, then there you go. There you go. That had nothing to do with Lee Sin, I'm afraid. But he was there. So, yeah. Lee Sin buffed. Strong champion.